Pioneer Resources. It's interesting, we heard from Wayne a little bit earlier from Heron Resources. We were spun out from Heron about 14 years ago, so we've seen quite a lot of Western Australia come through our portfolio. But I've got a couple of interesting things to tell you about today, and one of them is the world's only active caesium mine at the moment, which we're just about to bring into production. So in summary, Pioneer has got a market cap at the moment of $35 million. We've got about $4 million worth of cash in the bank. As a consequence of our age, we've got about 1.5 billion shares on issue. We see quite a lot of share trading in our company, so the graph shows the volatility as well as our share price. We are a Kalgoorlie-centric company, so Kalgoorlie, Western Australia. It's one of the world's great mining towns, I suppose. It's got a very large gold mine, as well as it's a nickel sulphide area. It's got reasonable infrastructure by Australian standards. It's nothing like the Chinese standards, of course, but we have sealed roads between Kalgoorlie and the deepwater port at Esperance. We're about 600 kilometres from Perth. A Cobalt project that we'll talk about is situated here, and our Caesium project is situated down here, about 120 k's south of Kalgoorlie. So looking towards the world's next Caesium project, we've got our mining approvals largely in train. We've got our mining leases granted and our approvals with the Aboriginals sorted. We're going through the last piece of documentation to the Mines Department, and we plan to be breaking ground in July this year. Compared to many of the other projects you've heard about, well, certainly this morning, this is a very simple project. It's a case of find the right piece of rock, and these are all different minerals, and they aggregate as single mineral phases and mining it out. So caesium is used principally in deep sea oil fluids. A company that you might have heard of, Cabot, has pretty much got a monopoly on the use of caesium, and the caesium formate is turned into drilling fluids that's used primarily in the North Sea. So it looks like water, it shakes like water, but it's twice as heavy as water, and it's pretty neat. Our starter pit is focusing on the caesium, which is the red on this map. We'll be whipping that out, we'll be crushing it, and then it's a direct shipment straight to our offtake partner. As adjuncts to the removal of the caesium, however, we have quite a lot of lithium associated with it. It's nothing like the caesium, the spodumene projects that we've been hearing about, but this forms a very nice clip-on onto the pollucite extraction. And the other thing that's got really interesting for us is a potassium deposit that we'd previously outlined as being waste for the project. It's now quite a saleable product. It's used in high-end ceramics and the glass industry. So we're aspiring to make about $15 million out of the sale of the caesium. We should be able to add to that through the sale of the lithium that's occurring with the caesium, but waste, which is now called overburden, is likely to add quite substantially to our project as well. So what do we do with the money, presuming we've banked all of this by Christmas time, or well on the way to banking it all by Christmas time? Just out of Kalgoorlie, we talked about nickel sulphides previously. The Blair nickel mine sat here, but from the drilling database from the nickel sulphide explorers, we've got quite a comprehensive database of cobalt throughout the project. Now these are pretty high grades when you compare to the other cobalt laterites around the place, and we've done some drilling and we've confirmed that these occur over quite widespread areas. To put this into context, these are our drilling results, so up to 0.5% at odd places, but 0.1s and 0.2s commonly. These are the projects that are currently being studied at the moment, 0.1s, less than 0.1s. So our grade doesn't seem to be the issue. Our drilling database from the nickel sulphide explorers shows that the cobalt is very widespread. And as far as potential to add to our EV, you look at some of these companies. Ardea, $103 million, Cleantech, $700 million, Aussie Mines, who are around here, over $200 million. At the moment, our EV is $35 million, which is largely covered off by the sale of the caesium. So we like to think that with some advancement of the Cobalt project, you'll see a corresponding increase in our enterprise value as well. Here's a snapshot of a spodumene hole that we drilled in Canada late last year. This was 55 metres of reasonable grade spodumene. We'll be looking for alternatives to this now that our Australian business is getting quite busy. So putting this just into context over the next few months, the caesium mine is a very simple proposition. It's a 5-month mining operation. The offtake will go to one party, and pretty much all of those hurdles are now nailed. So we hope to be starting mining in July by our current schedule. It'll be done and dusted by December. We've got the opportunity to commercialise some of the co-products, and then it's on to further areas along the Pioneer Dome to look for new discoveries, looking for the caesium and lithium. We've also got the cobalt just outside of Kalgoorlie, which looks like it could be a company maker for us. Thank you very much.